He introduces draconian proposals designed to roll back the internet under the cover of copyright protection and to prevent a hyped up terrorist and hacker threat as a primary example of this control freak mentality. Consider a proposal floated by the FBI earlier this year. Sean Henry, an FBI executive assistant director, suggests changes in technology to modify the internet to stop hacker attacks. Moreover, in February, the agency released a bulletin stating that efforts to protect online privacy should be considered suspicious, possibly even terrorists. Yeah, because heck, you're terrorists if you release bulletins and talk about the government and it's hacker attacks. They're hacking our system, even though it's admitted that the FBI literally hacks into their own system and brags about it. And they're admitted to be anonymous. I mean, they pay to do this anonymous thing, and they say, you know what, we're anonymous. We're unnamed. No one knows who we are. We're going to shut down the internet. What? How's that going to help anybody? It's going to shut down everything. It's going to shut down businesses. We're not going to allow jobs. It's going to be good for the economy. And you know that's a front for the government to just shut it down and say, hey, we're anonymous, we're going to shut it down. And people believe anonymous. And it's just like, okay. Believe whatever you want. Believe the Venus Project. Hey, the guy admitted that he was a KKK and part of the communist groups. But hey, that's all right because he wants you to make sure you're going to love it. Love the Zeitgeist movement because, hey, we want to be plugged into the computers and have all the robots doing everything for us. Oh, yes. Get rid of all of the religions, and it's always the Jews' fault. Let's just blame the Jews. Because that's what this is. Just go with the government. And we're going to spy on you and shut it down. They want to shut it down for free speech, and they want to tax it for something that's free. Okay. Continuing here. Here's another example. In November of 2011, the Justice Department told Congress it should have the ability to prosecute people who lie on the internet. It wanted to do this by making it illegal to breach the terms of service on a website. Yes, because if you want to block your name and want to not use your name to try to make sure you want to be private, you're going to be arrested for it. There's no law, but hey, they want it to be legal to arrest you if you lie on the internet. If you lie about your age and you want to hide the fact of your age, they're going to arrest you for it. There's no law, but hey, we say so, you know, say whatever we say, it goes, and, you know, you're going to do what you're told. Just sit there and shut up, you know. We have the authority over you, your family, you know. It's going to be fine. We're going to implode things by design, and it's going to be fun. So, you know. Anyway, continuing here. The internet is now so threatening to government, the Pentagon considers it an enemy weapon system. If you don't believe me, you can just look that up. It goes right to globalsearch.ca. Pentagon, the internet needs to be dealt with as if it were an enemy weapons system. That was in February 2nd, 2008. They've been trying to shut it down for years, since 2000, for 4 years, basically. Since 2008, like I said. In December, we pointed out that the NDAA contains language allowing the Pentagon to wage cyber war on domestic enemies on the state. If you shut down our power grid, maybe we will put a missile down one of your smokestack. So they all launch nuclear weapons because they shut down their system. Okay. Talk about a big baby. All right. A military official warned in May of 2011 in the Main Time 2011. In the meantime, Pentagon contractors engage in dirty tricks against journalists and target social media in psychological operations, where they arrest journalists for doing their jobs and shutting down social media for doing their jobs on the internet, the alternative media. I mean, this is ridiculous. Last paragraph. Google understates the threat to individual liberty and freedom of speech, especially political speech on the internet. If it had followed through and reached a conclusion, it would have stated that there is an inordinate pressure by a government to not only modify the internet, but to convert it into a corporized surveillance device, and an effort that is already far advanced. Yeah, so then, once they find out you're saying something bad on the internet, they can just shut you down. No judge, no jury, you're going to jail. There's no law, but hey, we're going to put that in place. That's all right. Let's go to the next one here. In his own words, Obama, he says he is a constitutional violating dictator. I don't need the Congress approval. I got the UN and NATO. Well, the UN and NATO is admitted a sex trafficking, narcotics trafficking organization, just like our government. I mean, it's crazy. Drop my pen. From Curtin Ammo, there's a video there that talks about him saying that Bush was wrong and doing executive orders and doing stuff illegal to the Constitution, even though Obama is admittedly doing stuff against the Constitution and can be easily arrested and impeached. But instead, because of the fact they don't think they have the power, Congress doesn't do it because they know they're a part of this. Like Carl Levin, John McCain, and many others. Just like in Fast and Furious. Oh, man. Anyway, let's read this article. And anyway, just an announcement. If you guys want to follow me, you can follow me on Facebook for Madness4life News. And you can follow me on YouTube to subscribe to this to my channel, as well as follow me on Vimeo. And that's it. So, all right, let's continue here. Last week, we reported on the increasingly dictatorial trend of the Obama administration. Now we feature a video highlighting this disturbing trend in Obama's own words. In the video, Obama admits that he cannot rule by authoritative fiat and bypass Congress and the American people. He states that dispute laws enacted by Congress and the American people, we will do what he wants, or rather what his globalist handlers want, or just plain both. Obama presides over an almost complete overthrow of the Constitution. It is treason, manifest, but the establishment media will not point this out, and instead make excuses for what amounts to a co-op of the presidency, of course. Because you have these people like Chris Matthews up there saying like, oh, every time Obama talks, it just gets a chill up my spine. Like it's some sort of like football game. Oh, every time they tell you football into that touchdown, it just makes me feel so good. Ugh. Even though your country is literally falling, instead we're going to watch a game to watch football, basketball, baseball. hey, what can we do about it? What can we do about the American falling? Well, you can stand up against this, or you can watch Rome be burned to the ground like Nero. I mean, you people just make me sick. I've had enough of this stupid culture you guys want to stay in. You people can easily stand up against this kind of dictatorial power. And the Congress illegally passing laws that, first of all, the Constitution and the Bill of Rights can easily destroy those laws and knock them down. I don't even care if you pass a law stating that men can rape women. It's illegal. It's morally illegal, and it's illegal from the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. But hey, that's all right. Because, hey, NATO's in charge now. So what NATO says goes, because we have a humanitarian war going on, even though humanitarian war has nothing to do about dropping bombs. But hey, shut up. We got to put Al-Qaeda in charge, even though it's Al-Qaeda. If you don't like that, well, then you're a threat to the country and you're a terrorist. All right. Fantastic. Spectacular. The latest violation of the Constitution came last week when Obama said he will impose declare amnesty for illegal aliens. Remarkably, few people in Congress complained or protested this abrogation of the Constitution and the laws of the land. This is not debatable. This is illegal. To give amnesty to illegal immigrants? What? Where's the law? We're gonna create one. Well, it neglects the Constitution. Doesn't really goes with the whatever. You people want to be idiots and not read this stuff? Fine. Prior to this, Obama's chief of staff, David Axelrod, said the Obama administration will call for destroying the First Amendment in order to stifle and criminalize his critics, even though it's still illegal. And it says right here in Infowars.com, Kurt Nemo, Obama plans attack on First Amendment if reelected. I talked about this before. I talked about this on Friday. In May, Obama threatened to stop sending Medicare payments to older people if the Supreme Court does not rule in his favor on Obamacare. That is beyond North Korea. That is beyond Soviet Russia. Saying like, hey, we're not going to give them Medicare. Well, they paid into it. I don't care. I'm going to just shut that off. What? Wow. And if you think that Mitt Romney's going to not do the same thing, you're insane. You are insane. You need to be locked up like the rest of them. I'm sorry, but you need the white coats. Mitt Romney has that fake smile and that fake hairdo. It just makes me more sick. And they're bought and paid for by the same banks and Bain Capital. I mean, this is a no-brainer here. They're both puppets. Puppets of the same organization here. Of the Bilderberg Group, the globalists, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all of them. Legislation that subverts the very foundation of the Constitution and underscores Obama's aggression of power served for the people, even though now it's for his globalist masters. Oh yes, it's going to be way more awesomer when you don't have a job and you can't pay for your bills and you can't have a house and you can't have an apartment and you can't have a family, because now they're going to be ruling that families are wrong and you can't have any children, and then your children are scum and they have to kill them off, and then they're going to say that your grandparents can't be alive and we're going to kill them too. And you can't have any you can't tell your children that they can do chores around the house. Oh, yes, it's coming. It's going to be beyond North Korea. It's going to be beyond Russia. It's going to be beyond China. It's going to be beyond Cuba. It's going to be beyond Venezuela. It's going to be beyond anywhere else in the world. And that's what everybody's, and they're going to, the liberals are just going to love it. Or any mainline idiot will love it. You idiots that just want to just buy into this. It's just so stupid. He has worked hand in glove with the globalists who are determined to undermine and do away with the Constitution. Last week, we revealed a linked document post on the Public Citizen website that details the Obama administration's trade objectives under the Trans-Pacific Partnership, the TPP, by the way, as it's shortly called, including a plan to allow transnational corporations to skirt American banking, investment, environmental, and labor laws. It's official. Obama's presidency, now dictatorship, spells out all of Obama's crimes. Now is the time for a move to not only impeach this president, but put him on trial for high crimes and misdemeanors. Congress increasingly averted needs to act before it is too late and it becomes entirely systematic. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And we have these Congress people that just go into it and it's like, all right, we're going to impeach him. Are we really going to? Not necessarily. We're just going to play this game. You know, he can easily be impeached for Fast and Furious, but hey, once he brings up Bush, everybody's just going to go, not Bush, be quiet about that, because they know they're the ones involved too. These people are so criminal, and they can be easily arrested, but no, we allow it to happen. And to think that Bush is off the hook is lunacy. He can be easily arrested too, but no, you can't do that. Yes, you can. They can be arrested for high crimes and misdemeanors. But instead, that doesn't happen. So let's move on to the next one. I am almost finished with this. I'm just going to do this fast because there's going to be a big article here on the Death Summit. I really want to read that. Start reading you that. This one is Apple's iOS includes... iOS 6 includes government alerts. The same thing as like they warned about the fact that they gave them alerts back in like, what was it, 2010, 2011. People were freaking out over it. And they had to apologize to people, but yet they were going to implement it anyway now because people are going to be freaking out over these alerts. But hey, that's okay because we want to have crashes. We want people to hurt themselves. We want people to go insane. We want people just to go crazy beyond belief. We don't want to have, people just being aware. We just want people to just go insane. That's why we have a zombie nation. Nation of freaks, idiots, and just total people in a trance. And you need to get out of your trance. Get off the iPhones, get off the iPads, just get off it. And I should get off these computers too. Start getting out more. Anyway, here we go from Paul Joseph Watson. Sorry about that, Paul. At Infowars.com, Apple's awaited iOS 6 update for iPhones and iPads will include controversial government alerts that some fear are a part of the federal government's takeover of communications networks. In comparison with the National Alert Program, the WEA will be coming to Apple devices that will run on the new mobile OS once it arrives this fall. the iOS 6 compatible devices include iPhone 3GS, iPhone 4, iPhone 4S, iPad Touch 4G, iPad 2, and the new iPad. This means that users with older iPhone will be able to receive WEA messages once they upgrade their handset to the new mobile software, reports AMOG. And you can go to that report, just click on the link, and it's right there. Receive national emergency alerts on the Apple devices with iOS 6 from the AMOG.com. Not that hard to look up. Continuing here. It's not really that long of an article, but that's good. Excuse me. The federal government, The federal government is keen to implement a centralized system of control over all communications with last year's announcement that all new cell phones will be required to comply with the planned program, the Personal Localized Alerting Network, which will broadcast emergency alert messages directly to Americans' cell phones. Although users can opt out of receiving the alerts from FEMA and the Amber Alert program, messages direct from the president will be mandatory, of course, because, hey, we got to listen to our dictator, and our dictator is going to tell us what to do. Yes, that's right. Attention all people, I'm going to implode the country. Give me more! Give me more! And everybody's just going to go in line to it. And it's going to be totally fun. Continuing here, customers will have the option to block all plan alerts except for those issued by the president. The LA Times reported last year the thought of cell phone users being forcibly targeted with text messages from Barack Obama during the election season has obviously stroked concerns that the emergency alert system could be exploited for political reasons, just as former Secretary of Homeland Security Tom Ridge claimed he was pressured to artificially raise the national terror alert by the Bush administration to help Bush win re-election. You can actually look that up. It's actually right here on the link to the Huffington Post. Tom Ridge, I was pressured to raise terror alert to help Bush win. That's right. Even though it didn't really mean anything. That the whole alert thing didn't mean nothing. It meant nothing. It's just like, oh, be aware. They're everywhere. Now it's the guy with the John Deere hat. Oh, yeah. The guy with the John Deere hat and the guy that works three jobs a day. Those are the bad guys now. So it's not the so-called fake Al-Qaeda that the CIA is running and the government pays and funds them openly. And they openly give them Libya, Syria. They're giving them Yemen. They gave them Mali. They gave them Somalia, as well as other countries. They're going to give them Uganda after the fact that they implode Uganda. Hey, they got to get Coney. But hey, Musafine's also a bad guy, but yet they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the concentration camps there. But hey, that's okay. That's all right. Hey, we don't want to talk about the fact that he killed the leadership in South Sudan. We don't want to talk about that. But hey, sign your petitions to go into Uganda to kill more people for the environment. They're funny. Kill more people. Murder Africa. Anyway, I'm digressing here. Okay. The system which went live in the New York City and Washington metro areas last December caused panic in New Jersey after Verizon customers received text messages warning them that a civil emergency was in progress and to take shelter permitting alarmed citizens to flood 911 lines with calls. Verizon Wireless later apologized to its customers for causing alarm, admitting that the confusion was caused by a test of the Plan Emergency Alert System, or the Personal Localized Alerting Network. That's what they call it now. As we have documented, which Paul Joseph Wasson is saying, not me. It's from InfoWars. The PLAN program, the PLAN PLAN program, is part of the wider move on behalf of Homeland Security to create a public environment come on, I already know that word. Dominated by a preserved sense of fear and paranoia, and context in which the safe exertion of constitutional freedoms doesn't normally thrive. The emergency alerts are eventually designed to be incorporated into the IntelliStreets system, which turns all streetlights into surveillance hubs that can record conversations and broadcast messages. And you can actually look that up and just press the link and it goes right to it. New streetlights to have Homeland Security applications. And hey, people are jumping on board. Hey, because that's a new technology, because people need to be spied on. Because hey, isn't it fun to be spied on? Say the truth, yeah, privacy's out the door. We don't need privacy. Who needs it? Who needs a country? We need to go to an authoritarian system. Even though I don't want to do it, or Alex Jones doesn't want to do it, or anybody else doesn't want to do it. But hey, there's these fake liberals out there that just want to destabilize the country, and fake conservatives that just want to destroy the country. But hey, that's okay. Who cares, about an actual country here? Let's just have an implode of a country. It's fun. Continuing here, for the first time ever, the feds will have a direct line to the millions of Americans who use cell phones, and be able to use the messages to transmit whatever they like, rather that be genuine safety information, fear-mongering about potential terror alerts or political propaganda. Judging by the response in New Jersey, the overwhelming majority of Americans will simply react by panicking, which in a really emergency situation could only make the crisis worse. Of course, it will make the crisis worse, and it's not going to help a damn thing. But hey, that's all right, because I'm the bad guy, and you shouldn't talk bad about the government. You should just love it, even though I'm not going to love it. And if they're going to take me to FEMA camp, then fine. You know what? Then I'm going to take you with me. You're not going to take me being alive and kicking. I'm going to be probably in a body bag, and I'm going to take some of you guys with me. And if you want to do that, come on. I'm not afraid of you. I am not afraid of these people, and it's time to stand up and say, you're not afraid. Stand up against them. To the death, you have to stand up against them. Non-violently first, but once they start to do the violence, to the death. Even non-violently, to the death. So I've had enough. Enough is enough. Now let's move on to number 5. Death Summit 2012, a window into 21st century eugenicist. It already begun from the Rio de Janeiro summit for sustainable development, which is Agenda 21, which they already put in place to with the National Defense Research Preparedness, where they can take away not only your transportation and your farmland and your farm equipment and your jobs and your, they could take you and make you into citizen armies.